In the third video in our Getting the Most Out of Blackboard series, we will begin adding instructional content to our course. But first, let's start with some basic organizational tips. Organization tip 1. Use folders to keep materials together in logical groups. You can organize by week, by chapter, by lesson, any system that works with the structure of your class, as long as it's consistent. That brings us to our second organization tip. Be consistent in your wording. Students will have less trouble navigating a course in which the wording is clear. When possible, match the wording to the syllabus. If the schedule on the left is posted with my syllabus, then I want the titles in Blackboard as pictured on the right to match. Similarly, instead of naming your assignments Assignment 1, Assignment 2, or your tests Test 1, Test 2, use descriptive names like in these examples. This will not only cut down on confusion, it will make your course more accessible for all students. Now that we have an idea of how to organize our course content, let's take a look at some of the available types of course content. So if I go to this one right here that says Course Content, and I click on it, you can see I've already started to add some items. You can see this icon here that looks like a folder. That's because this type of content is called a folder. If I want to add a folder, I can simply go to Build Content and choose Content Folder. We'll practice that later. For right now, let's just look at the other types of content that are available. So if I click on my Week 1 Critical Reading folder, you can see I have several different types of content already added. So let's talk about these individual types of content. The first one is a module. If I click on this module, there are 3 different pages underneath that module. It might be easiest if we look at this from a student perspective. So I'm going to enter my student preview mode and go back to Course Content, Week 1, and I'm going to go to my module. This is what it looks like from the student's point of view. And you can see that there are pages. The way I have mine set up, the students can click here to go to different pages, or they can click here. If you want to, you can set it up so that they have to start at page 1 and go through them in sequential order. But that's part of setup, and we'll look at that in a later video. But you can see how this module is kind of like a slideshow, except that you can add all different kinds of content to this slideshow so that they go from page to page, examining the resources that you've laid out for them. All right, let me exit that preview. And again, go back to where we were. Okay, so that's a module. This is just an image. This is another type of content that you can add, a simple image that perhaps you want students to discuss, or that's going to help them support their learning for some part of the module. This is an assignment. You can see the icon there with the ruler and the paper and the pencil. So this assignment, if I click on this, this is very similar to what the students will see. It's got points possible, it has a due date, all the instructions that you've left for them. I've added a link that they'll need to read, further instructions. When they've read all of that, they can either write the submission right here on the page and turn it in, or they can write it in, save it to their files, and then browse local files and turn it in there. So this is what an assignment looks like in Blackboard. Okay, the next type of content that I have on this page is what's called an item. An item can be anything from a document to a video to just any kind of file that you upload as a single attachment. So if I click on this, this opens up this document that has a model for them to look at for the assignment. And so that's just a document that I've added Like I said, it's called an item. It looks like a page like this. And it's something that they can download to aid them in their studies or to aid them with an assignment as you choose. The next one is an assessment. If I click on this, it opens up the assessment. And you can kind of see if you begin, you can kind of see what it looks like. The questions, they would answer the questions. And then save and submit. And they can click to see what they missed and what they got right. And how many points they got. Okay, so that's an assessment. And then this is a discussion. This is under our tools. If I want to have them engage in a discussion about critical analysis, here is the discussion. And then they can add their replies and comments to the discussion board. Now that you've seen some examples of the type of content you can create, let's take a look at these buttons here. So the first one is Build Content. Most of the items that are on this page came from this button. First we have Item. I pointed out to you this one here, the model assignment, which is a document that was uploaded. This is what we would call an item. You can upload audio, images. You saw the image there that I uploaded. You can add a video in the same way, a web link to a resource. You can add a learning module. We talked about learning modules. That was the very first one that we looked at. This is how we would add it. Lesson plans, syllabus, course link. A course link would take you to something else in the course. For instance, I could link this page to the syllabus page if I wanted students to be able to look at the syllabus and due dates and things like that. I could course link to the syllabus page. You can upload VoiceThread or other items that you may have that are from your textbook creator. You can add content folders, more pages to your modules. If you have a SlideShare presentation that you want to embed so that they're able to just flip through it like a slideshow, you can do that. YouTube videos. So lots of different types of content that can be built here. The next button is the Assessments button. And test, the test that's down here, the critical reading review. Okay, that's what I used. I used the test button to create that. You can create surveys so that it's an ungraded test, kind of. You're just getting opinion, or you're looking for prior knowledge, that kind of thing. Assignment. We created an assignment here, writing critical analysis. So anything that is going to be graded or that's some sort of evaluation, you can get from assessments. Tools, this is where you can add things like discussion boards, blogs, journals, wikis. You can add group work, all sorts of different things from the tools menu. And if you want more tools, you go down to your course tools and you have lots of different tools that can be added in. Then again, textbooks, things from your textbook manufacturer, you can add under partner content. Alright, so now you have an idea of the types of things that can be added under content building. Now that you know what's available, I hope you will join us for part 2 of content creation to find out how to add these different content tools to your course.